God, that's how you start a video. Oh God. Oh God. It's not even fake, it really just hit me. Alright. So, ooh, look, the camera detected your face. It's not racist. Ha ha! Yet. Oh, no, now it's blinking. Anyway, so today was another double feature movie day. Since we didn't go to the movies last week, I was about to say yesterday, because we didn't. We're going to start off with the first movie we saw today, which was Detective Pikachu. Now, going into it, initially watching the trailer, I was like, this is fucking hilarious, because it's Ryan Reynolds doing the voice of Pikachu out of all things. Like, Pikachu's fucking adorable, and Ryan Reynolds, I guess he could be fucking adorable. But, you know, he's Deadpool, so you're like, oh my god, something so kid-friendly and then something that's not. Like, how does that work? I saw it, I was like, okay, it's very good juxtaposition, but my nerd side was worried that it would be more of like, I was worried that they weren't going to be true to the material and be more of like satirizing Pokemon. So that part of me, I was worried that it would offend the Pokemon fans. But after viewing the movie, I think it, like, the little knowledge I know about Pokemon as an Asian person, apparently that's like against the law. People get really upset. They're like, but you're Asian, your eyelids fold like that! Or if you have eyelids, I have some, you know? They're like, how do you not know Pokemon? Like, they're like, you know, isn't your life Pokemon and Sailor Moon and Pocky and Nintendo Wii's? You know, like that kind of shit. And it's like, no, not, like, I was born in America. My life has just been gang violence. You know, racism, and being told I have smelly food, you know? So,
oh man.
Oh, I could have gotten worse with that. But anyway, but yeah, like from what again the little knowledge I know of Pokemon, I feel like it did fine. The characters did the thing that they do that I kind of know that they kind of do. It was a very interesting take on it. Like, we'll go into spoilers a little bit later into it, but it's a universe where they know Pokemon exists. It doesn't become like this, like, oh my god, you're a what? And he's like, I'm a Pokemon. Like, not that weird kind of like, there's this thing that is new and now we have to like live with the new alien in town kind of stuff. It's not that, it's just that we know this exists. It's always existed. And we've accepted it into our lives, and it's cool. And everyone has a Pokemon. Like, oh, everyone's got a dog, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about it as someone who actually does know about Pokemon and has played the games and watched the cartoon and
playing the games and watching the cartoons and all that stuff?
Yeah,
it's definitely done in a way to let you understand, like, Pokemon have always been around, and the way they live their life is nothing new. Like, this is like just the way life is.
Right.
So with that being said, even just the style of the way they made the characters look was done beautifully. Definitely, I love
which the Sonic team should learn from that.
Moving on. Moving on. Having Ryan Reynolds do the voice of such a very cute character like that.
Yeah. It's like,
I honestly think he brought a bit of levity in a more adult-friendly slash, because we all know how adult Ryan Reynolds can get, slash kid-friendly way to make to make all walks of life enjoy the movie.
Right, because the audience we saw it with had a good amount of adults, a good amount of like kind of younger, older teens, and then a bunch of kids. So going into the movie, because compared to the other movie we saw later today, which was the complete opposite, the commercials were just obviously very kid-friendly, all that stuff, and they were advertising like the new up-and-coming Pokemon games, and all I kept thinking is like, any parent who's in the audience right now with their kid are pissed the fuck off, because they're like, we've got 2 Pokemon games coming out, and blah, 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 or like, we've got 2 that are out now, and then soon we'll have 2 more coming out, and you know, like, there's like that that, I was about to say Best Buy, but there's that fucking GameStop that's like 100 feet away, and they're like, okay, we go after. They're like, blah blah blah, it's out now, but you can pre-order blah blah blah, and you're like, blah! You know, like $60 per game, 2 games, $120, and the parent is like, fuck, shit. Well, this kid is not gonna go to college then, you know. So there's a lot of that, and then when characters would show up in the movie, Jesus. Kids would be like, Psyduck, it's Psyduck! They're like, it's Fluttershy, it's Sandwich Maker! Okay, I don't know Pokemon. They're like, oh my god, it's so-and-so! They're like, ah! And so I'm like, normally, you know, I can't stand people talking during a movie, nor can I stand kids yelling during a movie, but this was fine because it helped me out, because I had no idea. Like, I know some of the characters' names. I don't know the name, but I know that the one that wears the skull of its, like, relative on its head. What's the name?
Cubone.
That's it. I know of it, I just never knew the name, so when he said it, I was like, oh, okay, so there is the word bone in his name, so it wouldn't be wrong if I said, you know, the bone face one. See, it's not that bad.
No, it's Cubone.
I actually saw a picture, it was really cute. Someone made the little skull thing and put it on top of their corgi, and it was fucking adorable. But yeah, so they have, you know, they have them, they're very adorable. My cute aggression was being triggered throughout the entire movie, so... And, you know, I never really got into Pokemon, because it's just like them, 2D kind of thing, and that was during a time of my life where I was against cute things, where later I had to accept that, no, I do like cute things, and I just want to murder them, you know? Just with love. The entire time watching the Detective Pikachu movie, my hands were just kept doing this, because I just wanted to take it and squish it. Especially Pikachu, because he looks so adorable. Especially when the main character would hold him, I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. Just want to squish him. Do you think they would come out with plushies of them looking a little bit more realistic? Or I don't know, maybe we could go to Japan and find out, you know.
Maybe,
yeah.
You never know. That'd be a good market to tap
like,
into,
I might actually buy some then, because they're so cute.
Especially that Arcanine.
Which one is that?
Let's just say Growlithe. Arcanine is the evolved version.
Okay.
The dogs.
Oh, the one with all fluffy and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, those are cute.
Yeah.
Those look like, I'm like doing this, that's what their tail does.
Well, yeah, no, the little ones are Growlithes. They're like yay big, but like the Arcanines are like about tall as yours,
But yeah, like the cute dog ones, yes. And then because I've seen the drawing of this character, but that Psyduck, just like that.
With the beady ass eyes.
Well, the way how the Psyduck was introduced was like shifty, like right behind a damn dumpster. So all I was thinking about was Dave Chappelle, like, yo man, you want some weed? Like, all I was thinking is that. And then you said possibly, because again, I don't know the character, you said possibly he'd be selling you something, you know? Yeah,
but I said he'd more likely be selling you LSD or some shit. It'd be some type of psychedelic.
Right. Which then made sense. I was like, that's why he's called Psyduck. Okay. But like a lot of the characters, yeah, especially it's just that Psyduck, because he had that shifty look to him, and he's on a dumpster like, yo man, you want some weed? You want some crack, smack, butter sugar? You know, like, I felt like he was gonna say that, you know. But yeah, overall, the characters were done very, very cute.
Yes.
Just cute, just
stylistically.
Yeah, stylistically, very cute. They worked well. They fit into the environment. There were like a few times, like we know this is all visual effects.
Yes.
There's not a surprise. But there were,
None.
like you're not like, hey,
that doesn't look like it's real.
Yeah. But there was like a couple of parts, like kind of close to like the third act, where there were some parts where I was like, that looked a little previs. Like that needed probably an extra like
a little tweaking.
Yeah, a little extra hour or two of rendering. That's all. But again, it's stuff that, you know me, like that I kind of nitpick and I notice, but it's not one of those like, that's not believable anymore. Totally taken out of the movie, 0 stars, you know, release the Snyder Cut.
Can we stop with the release the Snyder Cut?
I've been saying that all day.
We've had enough of it.
I've been saying that all day today. I've been such an asshole. You brought it up first. It's your fault. But yeah, like I said, nitpicking aside, everything else, yeah, visual effects was done very well. You believe these, you know, creatures, these Pokemon characters were actually there. The way how people interacted with them was pretty well, because there was one part where like, wow, I was like, the Pokemon. Now I sound like Hillary Clinton. Great. You get a Pokemon go to the polls, and you wonder why you lost the election. Anyway, when Pikachu's hat fell off his head, and then the main character kid goes and puts the hat back on his head, it was like a pretty good smooth, not the way I was speaking, it was a pretty smooth transition of like him with the physical hat in his hand to then the visual effect of
it being
on his head, and then it being like hand visual effect hat, then Pikachu. Like, it was pretty good. Again, you know me, like, you could be that person to like, I'm just gonna go through the movie frame by frame. There's some people who do that. I'm not friends with those people. But you know what I mean, like, it's good. The story wasn't bad, because it says it's based off the game Detective Pikachu. That's what it said.
That's what it said. I never played it.
You never played? Okay, because that's why I was like, how, I was about to ask you, like, what's the story on that? Maybe it's that?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, you know?
Anything they would have done would have been fun, you know, because more or less people just want to make sure that the world that they're building was done right. And for the most part, it was. Like, just to see a world
Is that what...
that you only have a notion of it being 2D to be brought 3D.
Yeah. And for, like...
Definitely hit it out the park.
And for in the Pokemon world, is the main city called... Was it Rhyme City or whatever?
Well, no, there's a lot of
that's
other
like a major?
cities. That's just like something I think they made up as far as just the story for this.
It's like Main Street, like it's just a thing.
Exactly,
Okay.
it's just a thing. But even if it's not, and it's something, it's probably just for that detective Pokemon.
Or like
series.
deep in the lore kind of thing.
Exactly, that's one of probably one of those things.
Yeah, because the way how that city was done was very much like, obviously just like Tokyo because of all the neon signs, but it had like a feel of like, well, they had one of the buildings that's in London, that one that's like doing this shape, you know, the one that's shaped like a dick, a glass dick. They had that one, but of course it had like a bit of like a Beijing-ish feel to it.
It's basically supposed to be a utopian-esque looking city that represents the whole world,
like a
coming together,
major metropolitan city. Yeah,
exactly. You know, trying to live in harmony with the Pokemon.
And everyone in the movie, like in that universe, is very happy, and everyone just like. And, like, it's kind of funny because, like, the main kid doesn't have his own Pokemon. Everyone's like, why don't you have your own Pokemon? You know? It's kind of like saying, like, wait, you don't have a phone? It's like that.
Yes.
Like, people say it, like,
literally.
Wait, you don't have a phone? You know? They're like, what do you mean you have a phone? That's weird. Everyone has a phone. What do you mean have a phone? You know? Yeah. But it also doesn't come off condescending, though. It's more like how people reacted to me back in college, where they're like, you don't have a Facebook? Like, now it's like, yeah, who gives a fuck? But then they were like, what do you mean you don't have a Facebook? I'm like, you're still using MySpace, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I don't know what this space of my is, you know?
Oh,
yeah, like, it's like that. And then, like, the characters are fine. I felt like that girl was kind of like, at times she felt like she was just there.
Yeah, she was pretty much just there, like...
As, like, a plot point.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like
but
she might not, like, I don't want to say she didn't need to be in it, because that sounds mean.
Yeah,
but...
She served her purpose.
Yeah, like, she served her purpose as, like, she was the exposition character.
Exactly.
You know, like, I know this thing.
There's a problem here, and somebody needs to address it.
Yeah.
That was what her thing was.
She was exposition character. You know, she's like, I know this thing, and then main character boy was like, wait, you know this thing, and she's like, I know this thing.
Exactly.
And it's like, we'll bring our heads together and know things together, and it's like, yes, and then I have my crazy ass side duck that needs to listen.
One must always remember the main reason why guys do anything is to impress a girl, and this movie definitely does not shy away from that.
Where else have I seen that boy? Anyway, but yeah, I guess we'll go into spoilers. 1, 2, 3 spoilers. Is that a thing in the Pokemon universe? The whole like you get this whole Ghost in the Shell shit going on where you're
like I said, I think
that's a very Japanese thing.
I think that's geared mostly towards the Detective Pokemon series because it is something like that. But like, there's not really a known thing where a lot of other people have done it, as far as I know, because when I recently watched a series of the Pokemon thing, Ash did that with one of his Pokemon. Oddly enough, it was a Greninja.
Okay.
You know, and they call it Ash Greninja, where his like facial structure and body changed a bit. So.
Okay, but again, like that concept also again feels very Japanese, where it's like we will take your consciousness and put it into something else. Da, 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 da. Like only recently has a lot of American sci-fi done something like that, or I would say Western. I would say American sci-fi because they did that in Chappie, and that guy's South African. But yeah, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. But that very like move your consciousness into this and da da da. So that's a very like Japanese kind of thing. Because I was like, I didn't know that was part of Pokemon. Again, my knowledge of Pokemon is just... I'm like that parent who was just like, you're gonna go catch those, Pokemans! I'm that person.
Yo, when I hear them say mans, oh my god.
I'm like, there's an
I
O
want
at...
to fight somebody when they say
It's
that.
also like, there's an O at the end of it, so it's like Pokemon. You know what I mean? I get it if it's an A and you're supposed to accent it differently, but it's like, girl, no. Who's a motherfucker? Oh, I looked up where I've seen that kid. He was in Jurassic World, The Get Down, Paper Towns. So he's always like that minor character off to the side who's screaming. He's like the mixed light-skinned black kid who's always just, he's that kid. Who's like, he's part of the group.
Usually the diversity hire.
Right. They were like, okay,
and he's not related to Will Smith. Please stop.
Oh, because his last name is Smith, right?
Yeah, but he kind of looks like Will. That was another thing, too, that was throwing people off.
Oh, but Smith is such a...
Well, like I said, it wasn't just the last name, it was his face.
True. And yeah, Will is a little bit on the lighter side, but he's also much lighter. But anyway, the fact that, like, Ryan Reynolds was his dad, which part of... Okay, I get it that you and your dad, like, grew far apart, but wouldn't you remember his voice?
Yeah.
That part I realized, weird. I was like...
That's like the only thing that I did find weird, is that the fact
that
he's talking to him and then like doesn't realize the voice that's talking to him sounds just like his fucking dad. Like, that is weird.
And then in the end, his dad comes back, and it is Ryan Reynolds. But it's not like, you know how, like, it's a dude, but then, like, you know, while he's Pikachu, he's like, I'm Ryan Reynolds. But then, like, you see physical Ryan Reynolds, and he's, like, got a more gruff voice or something. Then it's like, okay, fine. Not that that would have actually really made less sense in a way, because you'd be like, Ryan Reynolds, why you sound like that? That was, like, the only thing where I was like, again, I get it that you grew that far apart from your dad, but, like, as someone who really wasn't, you know, like, that interactive with their own father, I know my dad's voice.
Exactly.
Like, I still know it to this day, you know what I mean? But we're this is where we're nitpicking.
Not much else.
What'd you think of the whole thing of, like, the whole plot of, the Me Too, I think, was it? Mewtwo, sorry. That's a different thing. The whoo! Yeah, that's why I said it like, I was like, that's a call to me. See, you just got a Pokemon go to the polls. I'm so
Okay.
Now I make myself sound way older.
So the whole storyline with the whole Mewtwo thing.
They
said it in the very beginning.
Right.
Well, not in the very beginning, but they said as a point in the movie that Mewtwo had already been discovered for 20 some odd years already. So, like, he's already been around for a while. You know, he's not the crazy kill all humans that he was when he first was created, because everybody that knows Mewtwo was created.
Okay, so that character was created.
Yes,
okay, why is it called Mewtwo? Was there a Mew?
Yes.
Like a very original?
Yes. The original ancient psychic Pokemon, Mew, looked literally like a mouse with an extra large tail.
Okay.
Mewtwo was
the lab created one.
Was the lab created one.
Okay.
Who had like ridiculous amount of power, as you saw.
Because it's lab created. Anything lab created is yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So like the whole premise on Mewtwo and him changing his ways is plausible, because like, you know, you've been around for 20 some odd years, like, you would be stuck in a way of thinking, but then like you
see people and change.
Exactly, you know, you understand like, all right, look.
Okay, now I
was wrong.
Right.
Let me fix things.
Now I understand why there's. I always hear debates of people saying who they like. You know, obviously people are like, "This is my favorite Pokemon. This is my favorite Pokemon," and I do hear a lot of people like from what I hear, again, as someone from the outside, it seems like whomever chooses Mewtwo as their favorite, others tend to jump on them and be like, oh, come on. I guess it's probably when I react to people thinking that Superman is their favorite superhero, and I'm just like, and I'm like, Jesus!
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no.
Is it like that in a sense? Because it's like a little OD?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is that equivalent because, like, it's not like anybody can choose Mewtwo. It's like, no, Mewtwo, there's only one. And...
Right, because when Pokemon Go was a huge thing, I remember hearing that someone was like, I caught one, and people were like, no, you didn't. And there was like that one dude, because he had money literally to travel the world, and he caught all of them, you know? He literally did. He was like the first one to literally catch everything.
Didn't they have somebody else do that, and they were sponsored through like an airline?
I think so. There was one dude who just did it because he just could. Because he got jets, you know?
Yeah.
And then...
let that go.
Yeah. And then there was someone... There, like, I remember hearing that. So, there is only one, while all the other ones have multiples.
Because, you know, they reproduce.
Okay. I'm learning here.
No, it's alright. You asked the questions, and I'll gladly answer.
Which, again, I understand why people were trying to, like, catch that character, or, lying that they caught the character, especially if you said there is only one, and if you caught it, that means no one else could catch it. Okay. It's like, hold on, how do you play Dungeons & Dragons? No, I'm kidding. It's easier to explain Dungeons & Dragons than this. I'm like, what the fuck? I could probably explain that to you one day. Anyway, I'm trying to understand that. And I like how, when the movie started, they already had the Pokeball, they had all that stuff, which I felt very relieved, because, again, it wasn't just like, because it did start off, like, that feeling of, like, the new Alien thing, because it did start off where, like, the friend is like, hey, look at this, kind of like, hey, look, I found an alien ship, you know, like Chronicle, like, look at the thing I found. It's always like, look at the thing I found, then it, like, balloons into this thing of, like, we gotta keep it a secret, you know, you do that thing where it's like, you know, Bumblebee's trying to hide in your house kind of stuff.
Destroys it.
Right. Well, that's the thing, I was worried it was gonna be one of those kind of movies, where it's like, creature from another world comes in and you...
Yeah, fish out of water type stuff.
Right, and sometimes it's done well, and sometimes it's just like, there we go again.
Yeah.
You know, where the parent is like, are you feeling okay, honey? It's like, how did you not hear the sound upstairs, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they started up, and then they had the Pokeball, and you know a lot of people want to buy that replica now.
Wow.
It looked like it was made out of metal. It looked like, and he like beamed it at that thing. It was like, bunk. And then, well, again, I don't know about Pokemon, so when he said, hey, the ball didn't turn green, it's like, okay.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing, like...
You catch it.
You try to catch it, and it has one or two ways to go. Either it accepts you, and the locking mechanism enacts, and the Pokemon is yours to command, or it fights you, and it doesn't. It comes back out, and just like you saw, it wants to fucking whip your ass. Because, you know...
Well, that was also a quick exposition from the friend who said, oh, it also has to choose you as well.
Right.
Which, again, like, I feel like, again, as someone who doesn't know Pokemon, this is actually, like, a pretty, I would say a very nice introduction to it, because there are some characters you do know. Obviously, everyone knows Pikachu.
Right.
You know, everyone knows Pikachu. Everyone has heard of Pokemon. You know, like... They had Jigglypuff. A lot of people know that. I love that because he was singing. The guy was asleep.
He's singing it over there, and the guy's like knocked out.
Right, and I know that character.
Dead to the world.
Right, and I know that character. So, like, little things like that, it's like, okay, I get it, and I'm like, okay, I'm learning about them, and I'm learning about what their powers do, because I didn't know what, like, because, when Pikachu, I was supposed to say when Ryan Reynolds, but when Pikachu was like, okay, calm down, Psyduck, calm down, oh my god, you're gonna have one of your headaches, you're gonna blow up, all that stuff. I didn't know, because again, he just had those shifty eyes, so I didn't know that, like, he would cause, like a shockwave. And I was like, that's actually not a bad companion. Like, I get it, because you need to play that elevator music.
Yeah.
And like, he was just, like, so mad in his little baby scene, like, god damn it! He's like, would you shut up? You know? Oh my god, there was this, just to because he would be kind of aggressive sometimes, but it's also, again, Ryan Reynolds' voice, so it's hilarious. The kids were cracking up, and there was one line that, like, went over a lot of people's heads, but definitely not past ours. And they were saying, like, you know, he was like, oh my god, you can understand. It's, like, very early in the beginning where they were like, oh, you can understand me, da-da-da. And he's like, yeah, people always say I'm cute and blah, blah, blah. They want to pet me and hug me and put their finger in me. And we were like, what?
What?
We were like, we literally, I like started laughing and he just went, what? And then no one else like caught that because it's kids. They're not going to hear that like subtle little like kind of thing. But we caught that. And then there's this like dad that sat next to me. And I think because the two of us reacted the way we did, he like had like a delayed reaction syndrome. And it was like, like, because I heard him like, because it was so quick when he's like, yeah, put their finger in me. We were like, whoa. And then he's like, oh. Like, it was like a millisecond of a delay, but enough where, like, it was like a, oh. Like, I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but, yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things, yeah, when you're older and you watch, like, fucking Rocco and you're like, oh my god. I watched this as a child. Like when Ren and Stimpy and Ren was like sawing that log on Stimpy's butt and the saw was on his like crotch and he's like, here. And as a kid you're like, that's funny. When you're older you're like, oh my Mom! You know? Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, like they didn't have that many lines, which they didn't need to like kind of pull that kind of like, ha, snuck that line past you thing. They didn't need to do that, which it was fine, and what he said was funny. I bet most of that was ad-libbed. It felt very like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he definitely threw some jabs in there, especially the climate change joke. That was hilarious.
Like that came out of nowhere when that huge boulder was like coming at them, and then what are those Pokemon that are like land? They were like, I was about to say pterodactyl. They said Terran something.
Pterosaurus, some shit like that. I
don't know. But it was land something. It meant land thing.
Yeah.
But all those like big old land turtles, as they look like, when they started moving, so like the Earth was getting all like fucking Inception. That's immediately what I thought. And then the big boulder is coming, and he goes and says, he's like, come on, all this, and you still don't believe in climate change? And me and him just... We just had that, like, adult, like, gut-busting, like, we're gonna die. Yep. Like, the kids were just like, and then just, like, the two of us were like, oh my god, we're gonna die. Yep. You know, some of the other adults were like, like, that was a little too real for them. They didn't like that feeling. Like, no, that's life for us. Like, we're used to that, so, whatchamacallit. Yeah, so, and how'd you feel about the whole, like, Dad was the bad guy, like the guy who found the Pokemon to begin with was the bad guy all along, and then what's that?
Well, we kind of called it, if I remember correctly. We all called it.
Yeah. We
both called it, and we were just like, nah. Yeah. He's shifty.
Also,
then he tried to throw us off the scent by
making his son be the bad
and
guy.
we were just like,
right. And also, like when you cast Ben Nighy as your, like, other guy, like... Like, try not to say villain, but he's the villain. But, like, as the other guy, yeah. What else has he been the bad guy in?
Every fucking thing.
You know, yeah.
Like, no, like, you can't pull one over on me. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want. Like, they try to make that work with... When they first introduced him with his son,
because his son he's a prick.
His son is openly being a prick,
right?
And then you see him trying to be all nice and sweet,
and he's in a wheelchair, so you're like, oh, you can't be mean to the old guy in the wheelchair.
Exactly.
You know?
You're like, oh no, this bad guy ain't running around doing nothing bad. He's in a wheelchair.
It's like it's his son because his son with all this money, and then he probably wants more of Daddy's money. You're like, it's got to be the case, but then they throw in that freaking
Ditto.
Just.
Ditto.
That
congeal
jelly. Pink jelly.
It's a Ditto. It's a copycat Pokemon.
Right.
Yes. Just say the name. Because you doing like this makes you look retarded.
It's like this thing.
Because it's not that big. That's what I'm saying. You should stop.
Well, no, when you squish it in. Yeah.
Because it's like this big.
Oh, I don't know scales.
That's why I was saying stop. You're going way out of there. Like,
A dog could be this big, and I'll still say the dog is this, okay? Because you want to squish it.
I swear, woman. You're terrible.
Oh my god. But didn't you love the garlic ones? I don't know if you guys saw, there was a tweet where this girl went to go see it with like her mom, and her mom told her that the mother's favorite Pokemon was the one with the garlic on it. Was the garlic one. Which is, what's that? With Bulbasaur? Bulbasaur,
yes.
yeah. Bulbasaur. Because I never thought of that, because anytime I've seen that character, like, it's because it's a flower.
Yes,
so it's like usually in bloom, or like, or it just kind of just looks like
it's going to bloom soon.
Yeah, it just looks like a bulb.
Yeah.
But you don't think like a garlic bulb, because once it's in 3D, there's obviously more detail to it, and then how it kind of like comes up at the end, kind of like a garlic bulb.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. I never thought of it. So when I saw that tweet, I was fucking dying, because like, yo, I never thought of that.
Yeah. No.
And now that's what I'm gonna refer him to, as the garlic Pokemon. You know, I'm gonna be that woman. You know,
because of how realistic they were going with things.
Right.
Like the edge they were looking for, because like I'd see where it would look like that, but what essentially what it's trying to be is literally just a flower bud ready, waiting to bloom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks almost exactly similar to a garlic.
Right.
bulb.
And those are very cute, because it was just like looking in the camera like.
Just making little noises.
And then like those Squirtles that were freaking just squirting.
Firemen.
The fireman squirrels! That was cute.
Yeah.
Oh my
Squirtle
god.
Squad.
Oh my god. See, I know Squirtle because it rhymes with turtle. Because that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, no, it's all in all, they did a really good job.
It was a very fun movie.
Yes, it definitely
It's a
was.
very fun movie.
Ryan Reynolds, like after seeing it, I couldn't see any other actor doing that voice.
Right, because anyone else, like, because again, Ryan Reynolds, he likes to have fun.
Right.
And he's good at
the
ad-libbing.
whole movie is fun.
Yeah. It's
Definitely.
a very fun movie. Like, I enjoyed every moment of it. It was funny. When it was, like, serious moments, it worked out.
Yep.
It didn't feel like the serious moment got shoved in out of nowhere, or did the comedy feel like it... Like, nothing felt like, oh, we got to throw in a moment here. We got to throw in this. It was just, like, it all worked very well with one another, you know? One of the trailers we got for this movie was the Sonic one.
Oh, God.
And... I saw it on my phone, and then I saw the trailer on my computer, but then seeing it on that screen
made it even worse.
It's even worse. And we just saw it in like a regular theater. We didn't go see IMAX. We didn't go Dolby. We're like, every movie we saw today was just regular 2D fuck off, stadium seating. So it was just like, oh my god, this is even worse. And again, because we're from the older generation where we were introduced to Sonic, the kids who went to go see this movie, they were like, it's Sonic, it's Sonic! It's like, you don't understand! This is wrong!
Exactly. Like, that's not Sonic.
Like, if you can make Pikachu look like that, why can't you make Sonic look a thing? You know? Like, what is he? He looks like something like... It would be fine if someone did that for, like, their senior...
It looks like somebody had sex with a fucking furry. Let's just get it out there.
I was just gonna say that it looked like... It wouldn't be bad looking if this was someone's senior portfolio for their animation, thing. Because that would work out. But, okay, fine. If you want to have sex with a furry in general or a Furby?
Furby, furry, whatever. It would, like, somebody... On some side of it, whether male or female, had sex with an opposite species.
Do you think they did it fast?
I hate you. I hate you.
That's always my favorite thing to ask people whenever they talk about Sonic. I always go, do you think he did it fast? Alright, well that's the end of the Detective Pikachu one. I'm going to turn off the camera. Well, I'm going to switch the camera thingy so we can talk about the next movie, which is complete opposite of this one. Alright, but yeah, as we said, go see Detective Pikachu. It was fun. If you're a fan of Pokemon, since you are a fan of Pokemon, it
2 thumbs
there's
up. It was great.
it is accepted among the fandom. Alrighty. See you in the next one.
Peace.